If you follow my channel, you must have seen in the past me talking about Farthest Frontier. This is one of the games that I've definitely been expecting, looking forward to, and a few other YouTubers for sure, like Party Elite, keep mentioning it too. We recently had the confirmation about the release date for early access. I think this is important, this is early access, it's not the full game, for the 9th of August, so just 1 month away the time I'm recording this video. And around that time we also had another journey log. We haven't had another journey log yet, but actually something important happened that many people missed because I feel like they didn't really market that well, is that on the channel of the developers they have actually recently posted 2 gameplay videos. It's actually 2 streams that later were posted directly on YouTube. And in each of these, we can see one of the team members playing for around an hour. The streams are longer, but there's a few things at the beginning, at the end. But there's sort of 1 hour of gameplay in each. It's on 2 different maps. It's 2 different games. Of course, it is not like fully packed of content. It's not like he's going through everything. It's more like kind of a relax, answering questions from the live stream. But it is still basically the first real look at the actual gameplay of the game. So I think a lot of people will be excited by that. I will of course post in the video description below the link to those 2 videos. I don't want to just extend this video here by adding them. I think you can watch them on your own if you want, but I will definitely highlight a couple of elements. In particular, I will highlight what I think are some of the great things I noticed during those 2 streams, as well as a few things I wasn't so keen to hear or so keen to see. Of course, do realize that, this is something that I'm making based just on those gameplay videos. This doesn't mean that the release that we'll get in 1 month will be exactly like this. This also could be that I just misunderstood or missed something from what was shown, but still, I think that can be quite useful if you're thinking about buying this game. So let's dive right in. The first good thing I wanted to mention is I think the replayability will be quite high. There is definitely a number of difficulty options. You can change the map size. The maps are completely random, right? So there's going to be a lot of different maps. You can, by the way, also find the seed to each map, so you can share the seed to your friends and they can play on the same. And at the same time, again, this advanced, in particular with the advanced settings, you can really tune the difficulty to what you prefer, to your game style. If you want to focus on military, non-military, those type of things. The second thing I was pleased to see is just the graphics. Obviously in cinematics, it's always easy to make something look great, but when you're in gameplay, you can't really hide. This is the UI, this is what it's gonna look like. And, frankly, it looks pretty good. I mean, it is not perfect. I think I haven't really seen how much you can really zoom in, zoom out, those type of things. But I think for this genre of, city building, survival, this looks pretty good. This is fine. And then the third and biggest thing that I didn't want to mention in terms of really positive is I think there's a lot of depth. And they're talking about more than 70 different resources, a lot of different buildings, a lot of tier of population, for now 4, but planning maybe more from what I understood. There's complexity, for example, in the farm, there's the fertility of the soil and many other things like this. The health of your population and pandemics, there's definitely some complexity there, and just the resource management. If I understood correctly, the resource has really picked up at one point, delivered at one point, and it's not really a global, theoretical reserve. It's really that reserve is there. If you want to use it, you need to pick up where it is and not anywhere you want. So again, I think a lot of positive from what we've seen in terms of it's looking good, there's replayability, and there's definitely depth. What I wasn't so happy to see or to hear is a couple of things. The first one is, from what I understand, there's no really end game in terms of no clear victory condition or scenarios. It's a pure sandbox from what I understand. And I know some people love that. I personally don't really love that. I like to have a clear objectives with an S, different victory conditions or different challenges, and trying to master them all. The second element where I wasn't 100% happy is I think the UI looks clean, looks neat, especially the resources at the top, the time of the year, those type of things. But I feel like it wasn't super easy to see what's going wrong. Getting notification, getting tools to manage the problems. There is of course a number of menus. He has shown how you can decide where your population, where your citizen will work and not work. those type of things. But if you think about Anno 1800, for example, now you can't really avoid the statistic menu. The statistic menu is perfect. There's also a lot of notification that really shows you where the problems are. I didn't see all of this here. And maybe again, this is something I missed. This is something that wasn't really showed well, but we'll have to see that when the game comes out. And then the last element I did want to mention is around the early access. Basically what they said is that the game is sort of complete but not finished. And by that, what they mean is you have a full experience, not as if you have just one tier of population and then all of the other tiers will come later. We have sort of a full game, but not complete in the sense that they're still thinking about adding many new things. They're still thinking about adding more tiers, adding more buildings, thinking about also things like research trees and many other things. And while that can sound great, to me that also sounds a bit vague. It's like I'd love to see a clear roadmap of what will happen. And hopefully, with the early feedback that they will get just after release, they will create that. I don't really love games where they just do whatever people want, because people want 200,000 things in all directions. So it's also great when the developers really know where they want to go. So anyway, again, don't hesitate to go in the video description below if you want to see those streams, if you want to see for yourself this gameplay. I think there's definitely a lot of potential in what we've seen. We'll have to see, of course, the price. They mentioned a price, but I think the price on Steam really always depends on your location, so I don't want to push that too much. Don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below if this video was useful. Also, if you watched the stream, what are you thinking? Thinking of buying it or not? What are your own questions, your own thoughts? I'd love to hear about it, and I hope to see you next time.